only 2 Terminator films. Prove me wrong. Don't worry, I'll wait.
I'm waiting.
The exception to those 2 films is the Sarah Connor Chronicles. It sits nicely as a side piece. I see that as a what-if story, a non-canonical fan story, and it was enjoyable. However, that being said, Terminator Zero has entered the timeline. So could this be another contender for that spot on the shelf?
No one knows for sure, but I intend to find out.
And let me just say, the animation in this is on another level, thanks to legendary Production IG. Their exceptional catalog includes some of my favorites: Ghost in the Shell, Blood the Last Vampire, and Pat LeBeau. These guys do not miss. This isn't your typical rushed Netflix-style takeover either. Every frame is polished and is stylishly on point, even the 3D elements. The aesthetic is reminiscent of the first 2 movies, but also has its own character and flair. Plus, there are clearly a lot of influences from Stan Winston's and James Cameron's designs. Production ID delivers that consistent, high-quality animation that we all know and love, and it shows from start to finish.
Sensational.
Alright, so the story here follows Malcolm Lee. He's a leading tech industry expert in AI who's haunted by nightmares of Judgment Day, and he becomes obsessed with creating a counter-AI to fight Skynet. Now, there are lots of twists and turns here, including a future-resistant soldier and subplots involving Malcolm's kids and the Manny Mazaki. It's also revealed that the AI concept Malcolm creates in the future causes tensions within his resistance group, ultimately ending in violence. And in the end, Malcolm and Mazaki escape to go back in time. They managed to fit this into the Terminator universe without messing up the events of the first 2 movies, which I thought was really clever. This AI, called Kokoro, is split into 3 parts: mind, heart, and spirit. There's actually a fascinating 2017 article that touches on this exact idea about machines and what they lack compared to human creativity and intuition. I'll drop that link in the description if you want to dive deeper into that. So overall, I can't really fault the story. It's self-contained and it works, but I gotta admit, the whole time travel concept is a bit of a retcon and reimagining. They're basically saying if you go back in time, you're not saving your future. You're creating a new one because time isn't linear. Which begs the question, what's the point of going back if you can't save your future, right? But then I guess it's more about the human condition and the instinct to save humanity no matter what. While Malcolm's existential conversations with Kokoro are interesting, his character felt a bit flat, almost robot-like. Maybe that's on purpose. I don't know. And here's a big question. If he knew Judgment Day was coming, why didn't he keep his kids with him at work to protect them? Like, come on, man. For me, Mizaki steals the show. In a big reveal, we find out she's actually a robot come back through time with Malcolm. She is the first AI created with free will to try and prevent Judgment Day. Her backstory is the most interesting and gets way deeper than you'd expect. Even her explanation as to why she chooses to be a woman, it's surprisingly sincere without all that DEI stuff. Plus, her femininity juxtaposed with the hardened resistant soldier Aiko works really well. Also, thank God Aiko's not some invincible girl boss. She gets wrecked a lot, and that adds to the believability. There is a gut-wrenching scene where Mizaki gets uploaded to help create Kokoro, resetting her to default, which kinda crushed me. I think it would have been way more impactful if they didn't reset her. They should have pushed a bit more on that. Perhaps explored a romance between her and Malcolm, maybe? Like, imagine if they couldn't be together because, well, you know, she's a robot. That could have hit the emotional chords a lot harder, especially if she got terminated at the end. So, maybe season 2? Alright, so let's delve into the kids. Each of the 3 has their own subplots and distinct personalities. The daughter Reika starts off as the focus, but by the end it shifts to the eldest son Kenta. The youngest hero is scattered throughout. It's done well without getting boring, and Malcolm's neglect of them due to his obsession with his work adds a nice bit of family tension. It's interesting because he has his 3 real kids, but then he also has Kokoro, which are like the 3 daughters conceived by him and Misaki, each representing mind, body and spirit, and it kind of reflects his real children. Reika is mind, as she's quite pensive character and reflects about her mother a lot. Kenta is body, physical and always tinkering with technology. And Hiro is spirit. He keeps a dynamic between all 3 of them. There are some awesome nods to the old Terminator films, and if you're a fan of the first 2, you'll definitely catch the key ones. There's even an interesting arc for the Terminator itself, and by the end, the reveal about its relationship with Kenta was another great twist. And let me tell you, they do not shy away from showing the Terminator as a brutal killing machine. That police station massacre, great stuff. But there are some failures. In one fight scene, the Terminator is continuously punching Aiko over and over, instead of, I don't know, ripping out her spine. It felt like a bit of a plot armor to protect that Kenta Terminator story reveal later on. Also, on combat, the hand-to-hand scenes are a little dumb, but they're few and far between, so I don't mind. The show does start off slow, but stick with it, because once those twists and reveals kick in, it gets way more interesting. My biggest letdown, the music. There are a couple of small hints to the original sound designs, but the iconic Terminator theme, nowhere to be seen. And seriously, how do you do a Terminator show without the theme? The only saving grace is Misaki's theme. It's got this melancholic vibe that fits her character beautifully, but outside of that, the music felt lukewarm and didn't deliver any iconic moments.
Malcolm, 聞かせてください。
If you're a fan of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, this one stands right alongside it. It's a solid addition to the Terminator franchise that doesn't veer off into social politics or lose sight of what made the original story so epic. But I've gotta say, I'm a bit tired of this whole female resistance fighter trope. It's been done to death. I would have liked to have seen a male fighter this time around, just to shake things up a bit. Another thing, there could have been more emotional stakes with Misaki and the kids. The interactions were there, but there wasn't enough loss, you know? And Malcolm's emotional disconnect throughout most of the series felt like it fell flat at the end when it should have hit the hardest. But hey, if you're sick of regurgitated Terminator slop made by people who clearly don't get the franchise, this might be what you need right now. The real question is, how do they continue their story and keep it at this level?
Stay here. I'll be back.
If you enjoyed this, please hit the subscribe button and follow if you're on Rumble. Feel free to smash that like button and leave a comment, especially if there's something you want me to review or cover. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Stay creative.